The house is quiet now. Too quiet. I sit by the window every Sunday afternoon, the same chair I've sat in for years, and I watch the driveway. I listen for the sound of tires on gravel, footsteps on the porch, the doorbell I used to hear so often when they were small. But it doesn't ring anymore. The phone sits on the table beside me, silent. I tell myself they're busy. They have lives, families, careers. And they do. I know they do. But somewhere deep down, in a place I don't like to visit, I wonder if that's the whole truth. I wonder if maybe, just maybe, I had something to do with it. You see, it doesn't happen all at once. They don't wake up one morning and decide to stop coming. No, it's quieter than that, more subtle. First, the weekly visits become every other week, then once a month, then holidays only, then you start to realize that the last time you saw them was 6 months ago, and you can't quite remember if it was Christmas or Thanksgiving. The calls get shorter, the texts more distant. Sorry, I can't make it this weekend. Maybe next time. And next time never comes. I used to blame them. I'd sit here and think about how ungrateful they were, how I sacrificed everything for them, how they owed me their time, their attention, their love. But over the years, sitting in this silence, I've had time to think, really think. And I've come to understand something painful. Sometimes we lose our children long before they stop visiting. We lose them in the moments we were too proud to notice. I remember when my daughter was 12. She came home from school one day, her eyes bright with excitement, wanting to tell me about something, a project, a friend. I can't even remember now. But I was tired, busy. I had dinner to make, bills to pay, a life to manage. Not now, sweetheart, I said. Tell me later. Later never came. She stopped trying to tell me things after a while, and I thought it was just part of growing up. I thought she was becoming independent. But maybe she was just learning that I didn't have time to listen. When they're young, they come to us with their whole hearts open. They want to share everything, every dream, every fear, every tiny victory. And if we're not there to receive it, if we're too busy, too distracted, too tired, they learn to close those doors. And once those doors close, they're very hard to open again. I remember always wanting the best for them. I pushed them to do better, be better, achieve more. I thought that's what good parents did. But somewhere along the way, my encouragement became criticism. My guidance became control. Nothing was ever quite good enough. The grades could be higher. The friends could be better chosen. The career path could be more stable. The partner could be more suitable. I see it now. Every conversation became a performance review. Every visit became an inspection. They stopped sharing their joys with me because they knew I'd find the flaw. They stopped bringing their partners around because they knew I'd find something to criticize. They stopped calling with good news because they knew I'd tell them how it could be better. I thought I was helping them, preparing them for a harsh world. But what I was really doing was teaching them that home wasn't a place of acceptance. It was a place of judgment. And who wants to visit a place where they're never quite good enough? The truth is, I was there for all the big moments. The birthdays, the graduations, the important events. But I wasn't there for the small ones. I was there in body, but not in spirit. Present, but not available. I was busy building a life, making a living, keeping the house perfect, maintaining appearances. I was always doing something, always moving, always distracted. My son used to ask me to play with him. "Just 5 minutes, Dad, please." And I'd say, "Later, after I finish this." But there was always something else to finish. Always one more thing. He stopped asking eventually, and I thought I'd won. I thought I'd taught him not to interrupt important work. But what I'd really taught him was that he wasn't important. That my work, my tasks, my busy life mattered more than 5 minutes with him. Now I have all the time in the world. All the minutes I wouldn't spare then, I have in abundance now. But he's not asking anymore. There was a man in my neighborhood, George. We used to talk sometimes over the fence. He had 3 children, successful, all of them. Good jobs, nice families, beautiful grandchildren he'd seen in photos. One morning I saw him working in his garden, and something seemed different, heavier. "You all right, George?" I asked. He looked up at me, and I saw tears in his eyes. "My daughter called yesterday," he said. "She's getting married next month." "That's wonderful," I said. "I'm not invited." The words hung in the air between us. "We had a falling out years ago," he continued. "Something stupid. I can't even remember what started it. But I was stubborn, proud. I waited for her to apologize first. And she was just like me, waiting too." He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. "Now she's getting married, and I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss walking my little girl down the aisle because I was too proud to pick up the phone and say I'm sorry." He looked at me then, really looked at me. "Don't wait," he said. "Whatever wall is between you and your children, don't wait for them to tear it down. You're the parent. You start. You reach out. Even if you think you're right, even if your pride tells you to wait. Because one day you'll run out of time to wait." George died 2 years later. His daughter came to the funeral. I watched her stand by his casket, sobbing, holding a letter she'd written but never sent. An apology, an explanation, a hope for reconciliation. Too late. Both of them had been waiting. Both of them had been proud. And now all she had left was regret. But here's what I've learned, sitting in this quiet house, thinking about all those missed moments. It's not too late. Not yet. Not if you're still breathing. Not if they're still alive. It doesn't take grand gestures. It doesn't take expensive gifts or elaborate apologies. It takes honesty, a phone call, a simple text, 3 words. I was wrong. I wasn't there when I should have been. I criticized when I should have celebrated. I talked when I should have listened. I'm sorry. Those words are hard. They stick in your throat like stones. Pride is a powerful thing, but loneliness is more powerful, and regret is the most powerful of all. I picked up the phone last week. My hands shook as I dialed my daughter's number. She answered on the 3rd ring. Dad? I just wanted to tell you, I said, that I remember that day when you came home from school, excited about something, and I told you, not now. There was silence on the other end. I should have stopped everything and listened, and I'm sorry I didn't. I'm sorry for all the times I didn't. I heard her breath catch. I don't want to make excuses, I continued. I just want you to know that I see it now. And I'm sorry. And I love you. And I'd really like to hear about your life now, if you're willing to share it with me. More silence. Then, softly, I'd like that, Dad. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a movie moment where everything was instantly fixed. But it was a beginning. A small crack in the wall we'd both built. And sometimes that's all you need. A beginning. I'm sitting by the window now, and it's Sunday afternoon again. But this time, I'm not waiting for the sound of tires I'm not sure will come. I'm waiting for my daughter, who called yesterday and said, I thought I'd come by this weekend if that's okay. If that's okay. As if she needed permission to come home. I'd love that, I told her. I'd love that more than anything. The house won't be quiet today. And maybe, if I do this right, it won't be quiet again. Listen to me, wherever you are, whatever walls stand between you and your children. Those walls were built brick by brick, year by year, moment by moment. And they can be dismantled the same way. One conversation, one apology, one moment of vulnerability. Don't wait for them to come to you. They're waiting for you to show them it's safe to come back. Don't let pride rob you of the years you have left. Don't let stubbornness leave you sitting in silence, watching a driveway that stays empty. Because one day, the silence becomes permanent. One day you run out of chances to say you're sorry. One day the phone call you keep meaning to make becomes the phone call you'll never get to make. Don't let that day come while you're still waiting. Pick up the phone. Send the message. Say the words while you still can. Because the house is quieter than you think. And time is shorter than you believe. And love, even wounded love, is stronger than pride. But only if you choose it. Choose it now, before now becomes never, before the waiting becomes permanent, before the silence is all you have left. Now I have all the time in the world. All the minutes I wouldn't spare then, I have in abundance now. But he's not asking anymore. There was a man in my neighborhood, George. We used to talk sometimes over the fence.